What's up, everyone? Melissa
Hello.
and John Steele here with another episode of Get Real with Real Estate. I think this is episode 13. And we're going to be talking about loans and pre-approvals and why getting pre-approved is really the first step in searching for a home.
Numero uno, stepo.
Yeah. So a lot of people think like, I'm not ready for, 6 months to a year. Like, I don't want to talk to anyone yet. Like, I don't want to waste their time.
Common misconception, waste of time.
Yeah. They just think like, I'm not ready to buy yet, so why should I talk to someone? And the reason that's not necessarily the best approach is you don't want to set yourself up for failure. So you could have it in your mind like, I think I'm going to be able to afford like a $500,000 house, and you could spend the next year kind of looking at $500,000 houses and being like, cool, like I could see myself living in this one, doing tons of research, kind of spinning your wheels, and then, you could find that house you love, and you go to put in an offer and talk to a lender, and the lender's like, yeah, you're only approved to 400.
Wah, wah.
So that whole time
we see that happen all the time.
Yeah, so that whole time you were kind of spinning your wheels, and you also kind of set yourself up for disappointment looking at something that was unachievable, essentially.
Absolutely.
Where if you had, started right away with the lender, you would have known right away what you were working with. And not only that, if you weren't where you wanted to be, maybe at that 500, the lender could help you come up with a game plan on how to get there. So, what debt to prioritize, basically different things to rework
Just creating
yourself.
a roadmap for your success. We see clients run into this issue all the time. For some reason, a lot of people kind of have this misconception, and I'm going to use the word misconception here because John and I love working with clients who are like a year and a half, 2 years out. Because guess what? By the time it comes time to buy, if we've been working together for a year, it's going to be like that. You're going to have all the education needed to make an informed decision. And you're going to be like, I found the perfect house. And you're going to know which one it is when the time comes. So where we often struggle is from the people who, felt as though they were going to be a waste of time until they're ready to pull the trigger. And then it's like, oh shoot, I got to be out of my apartment in 2 months. And now we're scrambling for them to talk with a lender, to talk with us, to learn what they're looking for in a house. So if you kind of have that internal story that, is totally false, that your ego is creating for you, basically saying you're a waste of time, they won't want to work with you if you're not ready now, that's BS, my friends. We would love to talk with you now, and so would your lender. Reason being for exactly what John said. We, in an effort to always provide our clients like an awesome, tip-top, like super fun home buying experience, one of the best ways to do that is to avoid disappointment, is it not? You never want to be disappointed. So in doing that, be prepared and set yourself up for success. So even if you're a year away from buying a home, it's a great opportunity to chat with a lender. So like John said, if you're not where you want to be, or let's say you have your sights set on like a $700,000 house. I have the perfect example of this happening. We have a client who loves like a $450,000 purchase price. They really want, have an idea of where they want to be at, what the unit looks like. It's a townhome, it has a little yard, all this amazing stuff. Well, they're currently pre-approved at 400. And they now, because they were working with a lender, haven't been disappointed, finding the perfect home in 6 months when they want to buy and realizing that they are not approved for that amount. They are able to, over the next 6 months, as they're gearing up to buy that perfect home, they're fixing certain things on their credit. Literally, the lender's like, pay down this and this, and you'll be able to increase it by like 12 points, or do this and this. They're able to work on their debt-to-income ratio. They're able to save some more money for the down payment. So basically, in the 6 months leading up to their purchase, they are not wasting our time at all. Instead, we actually have incredible synergy together as a team with us, the lender, our client, where we're creating a roadmap for success so that when they want to buy in 6 months, guess what? Easy breezy, fun times. With John and I. It's going to be awesome.
And kind of jumping off that too, if you notice in the title, the second half, it's kind of like, what's the difference between a pre-approval and a pre-qualification? And this is important because a lot of times when people get excited about buying their house, they jump online and they go to like Quicken Loans or something, and they like type in, like I make this much, I have this much, basically just jumping in a lot of information, and like it spits out like some number. It's like, boom, you're approved for 600.
That's called a pre-qualification,
Yeah.
where you're just entering info. And then sometimes people are like, woohoo, I have a pre-qual. Like,
Yeah.
I get to go shopping.
Yeah, but you definitely want to be cautious with that, because that's basically just based off of the numbers you're providing. It doesn't really have any evidence to support it. What you really want to do when you talk to a lender is you want to look for a pre-approval. So that's where you've given them, your past 2 years of taxes, your W-2 statements with pay stubs, bank account statements, basically all the nitty-gritty details that a lender is going to need to dive into to really be able to determine what it is that you can qualify for and how much you can qualify. And
absolutely. And we understand too that sometimes that paperwork is a bit of a pain in the ass. It's easy to be like, well, I'm not going to buy until 6 months from now. So I don't want to give you my tax returns and my W-2s. Do it. Seriously, you will thank yourself later, because when it comes time to finding the perfect home, you're going to want to make sure that all your T's are crossed and your I's are dotted when it comes to financing. And also, I would encourage you guys to think big picture with your financing. A lot of people opt to use their local credit union or big bank, and that's great. John and I will work with any lender that our client wants. However, with some we give a little fair warning, because with some of the bigger banks, you will very much be treated like a file or a number versus a human being. A lot of times that's our client's experience. And then also, it's really great to find a lender. A lot of the ones that we work with do this. This is why we've partnered with them. But lenders who actually underwrite your file. This is very important. For the reason being, typically in a real estate transaction, files are not necessarily underwritten until 2-3 weeks into the transaction, sometimes even later on. We literally were just representing the listing side recently on one of our transactions, and the buyer's financing fell out 5 days before closing because their file hadn't been submitted to underwriting until then. So again, in an effort to avoid disappointment, you want to set yourself up for success. So find yourself a badass lender. They are out there and they're awesome. We know them. Yeah, we know them.
Reach out if you need.
We'll connect you.
Yeah.
And then 2, ask those lenders. First of all, what is your experience with that lender? Is he answering your phone calls? Is he checked out at 5 p.m. or is he available and able to connect with you on a human being level? And 2, can they underwrite your file before you find the perfect home? This is really important. Only certain lenders, like the big banks, have a really difficult time underwriting files before it goes into the transactions open. It next to never happens. It's very rare to see a Bank of America or Wells Fargo file underwritten. So 1, it weakens offers, and 2, it sets you up for disappointment, because if there's a red flag on your file, you tell me right now, would you prefer to have it come up before you find the perfect house or 3 weeks into finding your perfect house?
Yeah, because while red flags, a lot of times they can be resolved, there are some times where things pop up and it's literally, it kills the deal. There's just no way to get it done. And at that point, you may have invested a couple $100 to $1,000 in home inspections, in appraisals, in different specialists that you bring out, basically. And not only that, but the time you've invested as well, and the emotional.
That's the thing. Aside from, I would say, the monetary and the time commitment, the emotional investment is what's going to be the most difficult to overcome. Because also, if you lose that dream property over a red flag, it's gonna really sting. Because I can promise you, we've experienced this on the listing side. We honestly haven't had very many buyers go through lending issues because we are really upfront in our advice to them and our feedback if they're using a lender that we've, are like, ooh, I don't know. But with that being said, a lot of our clients, experience things that especially with big banks, they'll have a lot of money with the big bank and go in and be like, I want a loan. And of course, because you have this relationship with your big bank, it seems like it makes sense. Just make sure that you're prioritizing yourself and you're feeling like you're getting the best service, and also asking the most important questions, like, can my file be underwritten? What does the service look like? Are you available via cell phone over the weekend? That's a huge one. Our clients, it's really tough when it's 4 p.m. on a Friday and stuff shit's hitting the fan with their loan, and their Wells Fargo lender's like, oh, sorry, I gotta get out of here at 5 p.m. I'll talk to you on Monday. The client's like, what? What am I supposed to do right now for the next 4 days? Am I gonna still have this house on Monday? So just do your due diligence and do your research. We're happy to connect you with somebody who's super stellar, but ultimately you just want to set yourself up for success and don't have a disappointing home buying experience. Commit to having a super stellar, fun, and exciting one. You can ultimately create whatever experience it is that you want around your real estate purchase or sale or whatever it looks like.
Yeah, and don't feel like you're wasting anybody's time. This is what people in the real estate industry do all day, every day. this is what they expect and this is what they love to help people with. So
yeah. For those of you that know us and are friends with us, you know that John and I can talk real estate literally 24/7 and talk the ears off a brass monkey. So if you have questions and want to chat about this further with us, we'd love to hop on a call. We talk to clients and non-clients alike. We have people all over the country who call us to ask us for feedback. So be deserving of that feedback. We'd love to connect with you, and we look forward to doing so. So we'll talk to you guys soon.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.